I do this on YouTube because it also helps those people with low vision or they have a challenge with their vision. The screen is a lot bigger, and it also continues to help those people with low vision. They have a challenge with their vision. Okay, good. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the chat so that I am the only one who can see it. That way, your friends are not interrupted unnecessarily as we're doing the presentation. Okay, so we're good to go. Everybody's here. We are ready to have a good time. And here we go. Let's talk about Anna. Now, friends, I would love for you to give me a little thumbs up if you're able to see my screen and if you hear me well. Okay, very good. Okay, let's get started. So, why did I do this tour? I was mesmerizing in my personal study about all the women that have appeared on the Bible. And I wanted to start a personal study because I have a Bible student that was thinking about, does Jehovah chose prejudice against women? And I said, absolutely not. I can show you that women have played an important role in what is Bible history and also what's our history. The story about Hannah, it's very interesting. Why? Because Anna was not a queen.
that was
It was
born to
born to
deliver
do. Sorry,
Israel.
that was a surprise. Anna was not a queen. She did not came from a famous family, but yet what she did changed the nation of Israel in a way that today we are reflecting about it. So stay tuned. The tour is it's going to be about an hour, and there's going to be, I hope, there's going to be a lot of interesting things that you can learn from this tour. But before I start with the actual tour, let me show you a preview of the tour that I'm going to be presenting on Monday. Here we go.
That was born to deliver Israel, a man of unbelievable strength, a Nazarite from birth, chosen for a divine mission, from tearing lions apart to toppling enemies. Samson, the judge who changed history.
Then Jehovah's Spirit empowered him. The ropes on his arms became like linen threads that were scorched with fire, and his feathers melted in his hands.
Very, very interesting tour. I hope to see you on Monday. You will not be disappointed. This is one of those projects that my wife and I have worked together for months. So I hope you like and learn a few things about Samson. I hope you enjoy those Bible gems that we discovered. The account of Hannah, mother of the prophet Samuel, really unfolds in the central highlands of ancient Israel. And we're talking about an era which is called the early Iron. Her family lived in Rama Ma'in Sofim, which you can see an actual video of that place today. This is a settlement in the mountainous region of Ephraim. From here, they made the yearly journey northward to the religious center at Shiloh, where the tabernacle stood there for centuries. The narrative preserves are rare, but they bring us enough insight to see what was the domestic life like, the religious custom, and the social pressure of that time. Like I mentioned before, Hannah was a woman of faith, but also a woman of sorrow. She lived in Ramah. She married Elkanah, a spiritual man, and we're going to see that throughout the tour. But she suffered because she could not have children. Added to this, it was the constant mockery of Peninnah, Elkanah's other wife. And the other day, I met someone whose name was Penina, and I said, "Why would somebody name their daughter Penina?" And she said very clearly to me, "You know, everybody focused on Hannah and her struggle, but imagine Penina being with a man that doesn't love you, and he loves another woman. No wonder Jehovah abolished polygamy." Follow me in the story of a woman, like I mentioned before. She wasn't Esther, who was a queen. She wasn't a famous warrior like Deborah. She was just an ordinary woman of the 11th century whose greatest longing became her deepest pain and the catalyst for a miracle that will transform the history of Israel. Her story begins in the hills of Samaria at a place called Shiloh, and pay attention to this phrase, where heavens meet the earth. Well, before we get started, I always like to ask questions because it's the only way that we can learn and participate. Which tribe was Elkanah from? Feel free to raise your hand, or if you want, you can also use the chat to put the answer. Which tribe was Elkanah from? Let's invite Christina. And Christina, I'm sending you an invite for you to open your mic. Christina, first tell us, where are you connecting from?
Moreno Valley, California.
All right, all right. So it's about what, 5:14 your time?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Um, Christina, what do you think the answer is?
I think it's 3, Levi.
Oh my goodness, it looks like you read your Bible. That is correct, Christina. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And you're gonna see, friends, why this is important and how it will connect later on. There's no coincidence in the Bible. Friends, Anna's life legacy is an enduring legacy. And as you can see here, right there on the screen, is a summary of how Hannah changed or impacted the uh, Israel nation. Her son will be the last judge. Yes, the last judge on the line of judges. And he will be kind of like a traveling overseer, moving from point A to point B, just doing what Jehovah will ask him to do. And his last assignment was the anointment 3 times of King David. A truly fascinating story. I do not know, very likely, I do not know how much Anna knew uh, what her son will become, but we are anxiously waiting for the new world to tell her what Samuel did. Very interesting story. And by the way, this is a whole different tour about Samuel and David. So feel free to take a picture of this and you can do your own research on your due time. But I'm telling you, the story is simply fascinating. 1 hour is not enough to go over all of this. Friends, I am not only a licensed New York City tour guide, giving tours at the Met, giving tours at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. My wife and I had the privilege of traveling to Israel before the war started. And our passion for history, for Bible history, just increased. And by the way, we also love maps too. They're so powerful. So, what was Israel like in the time of Samuel? Well, you can look at the picture, right? There was not much going on. We're talking about that the tabernacle was in Shiloh for almost 400 years. And we're going to talk about later in the tour. During our investigation, we have to use artifact from the largest museum in the United States, the Metropolitan Museum of Art of New York City. So come to Bethel. If you want a Bible-based tour at the Met, let me know and I will help you out. And I'm going to show you the artifact that I found at this museum that is connected to. There's myself, there's some other brothers, and that is my mother-in-law. I go with her everywhere I go. So I love my mother-in-law. She's the only one I have. So when we think about having children, today there's truly no argument. Some people choose not to have children. But back then, not having a child was very traumatizing. And the weight of silence is what will push Hannah to really do things that she has done before, but she will do it now to a deeper degree. These are some of the uh, archaeological findings of Tel Shiloh, where everything begins. And the reason why they call it where earth touches, where um, heavens meets the earth, is because the tabernacle was the connection between humans and Jehovah. And you see now more of the cities that you're familiar with: Ephraim, Manasseh, Judah, Dan, Reuben, all the lands that were distributed. And then you see Shiloh right next to Bethel. And that's what the territory may have looked like in the time of uh, Hannah. But the good thing about archaeology today is that there is a ton of information that we can use now to paint a better picture of what life was like before. Right now, I'm showing you where the tabernacle may have been for close to 400 years. Show you this picture. Well, it's not only for entertainment, it's also to show you that there is an active search on that area for pottery, tablets, anything that can glean some light as to what happened hundreds and thousands of years ago, so that now we can tell this story. We can share our story for those people who ask us for tangible evidence that the Bible is reliable and that the Bible is trustworthy. And it is those discovery, uh, because of the science Bible archaeology, that we have access to all this data that was not available before. We are living on a very, very special time. Why? Not only do we have the entire Bible in a language we can read and understand, but now we have all these archaeological findings that allows us to do a 3D modeling of what life was like in the time of some of the Bible characters. But now that we're getting into the life of Hannah, we can conclude that Hannah lived in a divided household. A devoted husband, but he was just a man. And perhaps he was in one of the most uncomfortable situations ever, to understand the depth of Hannah's pain. Then we have Penina, the fertile second wife, whose presence was a constant reminder of Hannah's pain. And Hannah was the beloved but barren wife whose heart longed for what seemed to be impossible in the human side. So you can imagine the Bible does not give us what is called a key date. A key date is a date that allows you to calculate before or after, or calculate um, the the range of years that took place during that time. But whatever the case is, you can imagine. I hope I am helping you paint the difficulty of being in a house like that when the giggles of children can be heard not only on the house, but also on the backyard and all the property. So to avoid problems, Anna was quiet. She was just quiet. She couldn't argue. She couldn't say anything because she had nothing to say. But that silence was killing her because of the situation. And her husband tried to console her, but it was still difficult. Friends, I need a volunteer to read this section. It's called Do You Know? I also call it open mic, where the friends can actually read it and we can learn a thing or two from our research. Rosa Ford. Rosa, where are you connecting from?
From Loganville, Georgia. It's
Ah,
not far from Atlanta.
all right, all right, all right. Rosa, would you mind reading the section? Do you know?
Yes. Polygamy was legal, but in Elkanah's home, it brought pain and rivalry. Hannah suffered every day seeing Peninnah with her children, a cruel reminder of her own infertility. The struggle for her husband's love and her place in the family plunged her into constant anguish.
Well, friends, um, this tour's goal is to try to make you feel or understand what she was going through. Because understanding a Bible character can help us understand their action and their behavior. Because we want to imitate Hannah, just like Mary did. Anna is one of those characters that you are simply mesmerized at her faith and what she did. But before she got to that point, there was a process that fortified her faith to do the unthinkable. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So the Bible clearly says that there was some provocation. And we don't want to uh, cause evil on Peninnah. She is also a victim. She is also hurting. Her husband wasn't paying the attention that she deserved. So therefore, she was reacting the way she did. What did the husband do? The husband tried to comfort her, just like many husbands do today. But did he listen? Did he understand? In the first book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 8, Elkanah does something that shows you that he did not understand fully what was going on. Let's ask Moana. I don't know if this is the movie character from Hawaii. Moana, where are you from?
New Zealand.
New Zealand. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Can you read the text, first book of Samuel, chapter 1, verse 8, to understand that maybe Elkanah did not understand fully what was going on?
Hannah, why are you weeping? Am I not better to you than 10 sons?
Mhm. And before you judge him, it's not what it seems. He's not saying, hey, I am better than 10 sons. But what he's saying is, hey, you still have me. You still have my love. I love you dearly. Why are you weeping? But he wasn't connecting the fact that her sorrow was what some people call at that time the curse of infertility. Can anybody help me read this short paragraph? Because it led themselves to another question that I'm going to ask. Let's ask a brother, because I've been calling sisters so far. Bill, where are you connecting from?
From Dayton, Ohio.
Right. Bill, can you read the portion about the curse of infertility?
Yes. In biblical culture, fertility was not just a personal desire, it was a sign of divine favor. Infertility was experienced as a curse and unbearable social shame.
Yes, indeed. I would like to ask the audience, can you think of someone who was temporarily barren and she was very sad until she was able to procreate? Ah, so happy to see Monica. Hi, Monica.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Eh, There are some people here that do not know you. Can you tell them where you're from?
I'm in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Can you tell me another Bible character who suffered the curse of infertility?
Sarah.
Sarah. Sarah. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. And friends, when we read about Sarah and we read about this particular situation, we get a bigger picture of what the situation may have been like. Friends, I have a tour on our YouTube channel, a tour that is titled The 10 Plagues According to Joseph. Why was he named Joseph? What does the name Joseph actually represent? And uh, why did his mother name him like that? It's a fascinating tour. I invite you to go to our YouTube channel to see it. What's really interesting is the research that we did. Not only do we have the Bible and we have Bible characters that talk to us about the curse of infertility, but we also found artifacts that transport us to Hannah's world. Ceramic vessels, household items, utensils that tell the story of daily life in ancient Israel. But what was truly amazing to me when we were preparing this tour is this little girl that you see here. Can anybody help me read this section? Do you know pillar figures of Judah? We're going to ask either Wayne or Debbie to help us with this reading. But please tell us, where are you connecting from? Wayne or Debbie? There you go.
Hi, brother. We're connecting from Norristown, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia.
Mhm. Thank you. Would you mind reading this little box?
Sure. Between the 8th and 6th centuries BCE, these small female figurines were produced in large numbers in Judah. They depict a nude woman holding her breast with a pillar-shaped body and a molded head with a curly hairstyle. They were found in homes, not temples, indicating domestic use, probably related to home protection and fertility. Some associate them with the Canaanite goddess Asherah, although others believe they were simple amulets. The Bible mentions that many Israelites worship Asherah alongside Jehovah, something the prophets denounced.
Mhm. Yeah, and we have proof of that. But is this evidence enough? But before we continue to the next slide, I want to ask the group, friends, why does it say between the 8th and the 6th century? Shouldn't it say from the 6th century to the 8th century? Why is it backwards? Does anybody know? Let's invite Debbie. Debbie, where are you from?
I'm from Florida. I'm from Marianna, Florida.
Marianna, Florida. Okay.
And the reason it counts from like the 8th century to the 6th century is because time did count backwards
There you
from
go.
the time of creation down to Jesus.
There you go. The arrival of the Messiah. Thank you very much, Debbie. Well done. Well done. I just wanted to point that out in case there was someone the today that did not know. Friends, I took a picture directly from the Metropolitan Museum of Art of New York City. I have seen these statues this statue that you see here with my own eye. But I would like to show you something, and let me see if I can get a magnify, if I can get a close-up. Oh yeah, here's a close-up. Okay, this is the original, right? So that you can see that I got this information from the Met, and I'll be happy to send you that link. But I took the text and I made it bigger so that it is easier to read. So what does the Met says about this statue? It says this type of pillar figurine is typical of those produced in great numbers of Judah at this time. Look at the centuries, right? Now, I'm not gonna go into all the craziness that he says there, but I like for someone to read, especially the last sentence, because it is the last sentence that helps us understand really how bad this was. I am going to invite Renee Rosenbaum to help us.
Hello, hi. I'm from Joliet, Illinois.
Illinois. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Renee. Sorry. Would you mind
Yes,
reading the sentence that is in bold?
okay. It's some literary evidence in ancient Israel even speaks of Asherah as the consort of Yahweh himself.
Very good. Thank you, Renee. When I saw that at the museum, I almost flip out. I was like, I invite you to do your own research to confirm it. No wonder the prophets were talking about this. No wonder the prophets were warning people about this. Why will the museum write something like this? Why would they do that? Does anybody know what a curator does at a museum? What is the job of a curator, a museum curator? Let's invite Anna or Sylvia Zapata.
Yes, yes. Hi,
Hey,
my brother.
sisters. Where are you
yes,
connecting from?
we're connected from Florida, Kissimmee.
Oh, Kissimmee.
And yeah, from Kissimmee. Usually a curator of a museum is the one that usually takes charge and watches over the exhibits in the museum. And also they are very well informed of every artifact that's in the museum itself. So they can give you knowledge and information about specific items that are in the museum itself. But they usually take care of all the things that are going on, especially if it has to do with figurines and stuff like that.
Thank you. Is this Anna or Sylvia? Oh, she already put her microphone on mute. Well, thank you. That was the right answer. Does anybody know how much a curator makes? What is their salary? And the reason why I am stopping and highlighting this is because for a museum to display this type of information, they're not going to make this information up. The Met is the largest museum in the United States and is very respected. So to have something like this in the description, it tells you that there is some truth to what they're displaying right there. So people in the time of Hannah have this small figurines hoping that if they were barren, somehow other gods will give them what Jehovah appears not to be given them. Did Anna resulted in doing that? To understand, we need to look at the life of women and fertility in ancient Israel. We have read the story about Anna's anguish. We feel it, we see it. But when we take the historical value of the situation, the social value, the identity, you guys can feel the pain. In a town where everybody knew each other, everybody knew each other's business, you could imagine when Anna would be walking out, walking down, or going anywhere, everybody knew her situation. Friends, I would like to tell you that I took my wife and I took her to Paris this past October, and we were at the Louvre looking for more evidence related to Hannah. And on our research there, we bumped into what at some point was considered the oldest inscription of Jehovah's name outside the Bible, and is the Stella Misha. And we're going to have a tour. I haven't selected a date, but please, if you're interested in me presenting this tour, when you go to our website, myvirtualbibletour.com, make sure you vote for this tour. That way it can go up in the ranking and I could present it sooner than later. So this picture was, I guess, a month ago. And, I have been to the one, I have seen the one at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C., which is a replica. Many other museums have replica, but this one is the real deal. And in the tour, I explain why you see it in different places, in different pieces, and what is the oldest piece of archaeology that has the divine name. A truly fascinating tour, and I'll be
That was
hoping
born to deliver Israel.
I was hoping to share that with you later in the month in December. I'm going to be conducting tours every week, probably uh, Fridays and Mondays, or Sundays and Mondays. So December is going to be a good time to present virtual tours, especially when the weather gets colder and it's more uncomfortable. Okay, it's trivia time. I know you love trivia. Please raise your hand if you want to participate. If you don't want to participate, it's okay. You can put your answers on the chat. How did infertility affect women in ancient Israel? How did it affect? Let's invite Marietta Houston.
Hi there, my brother.
Hello. Where are you connecting from?
Anchorage, Alaska.
Oh, you're the farthest. No, actually, we heard somebody said New Zealand. New Zealand is far.
Yes, yes, with my
Weather in
sister with the
Alaska.
wonderful accent. Yes.
How's the weather right now? Because it's cold in New York.
It's cold here too. We finally made it back to the double digits. We were sitting in single digits for a very long period of time, it felt like. And we had a nice little earthquake yesterday, a six
Oh,
pointer that kind of woke everyone up a little bit in the morning. So we're doing
wow.
better today.
Like the cold weather is not enough, right?
Right, right. We have that to-go bag ready with some warm stuff, is what I say.
Hey, I'm giving away a free book about how to preserve food, how to filter water. There's a lot of little things that you can do for surviving. Because with all the natural disasters we're having right now, and uh, the organizations assigned to respond to those natural disasters, they're running out of money because there's so many disasters in one year. It would be good if we learn how to take care of ourselves before any help gets in. So, friend, if you want that book, it's completely free. Just send me an email. Just give me your email address so I can send it to you and you can read it. But tell me, Marietta, if I were to ask you, how did infertility affect women in ancient Israel? Which one of those choices would you pick?
The last one, all of the above.
Right. That was easy. Let me give you another question. Beliefs about how to reverse infertility. Be careful. All I'm saying is be careful with the answer. Oh, you close your microphone. Okay. Let me give someone else the opportunity. Let me ask my dear friend. Oh, La Ronda put her down. Okay, let's call Rochelle. Rochelle, what do you think the answer is? Oh,
Were
first,
you talking
where are you connecting from?
South Bend, Indiana?
Okay.
But you know what? My hand was up from the last one. So, but let me see. I
Ah,
hadn't even read it all. Let me
so
see.
I try to help Marietta, but Marietta was so kind. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna take one answer. I'm gonna let someone else answer too. But
Let me see.
all I'm saying is be careful.
I say all of the above.
Okay. Okay. I warn you. Patty, what's your answer?
Okay. Can you repeat the question so I can understand the answer?
It's right there on the screen. What
Okay.
believe were around Hannah's time that were the only way to reverse infertility? How can you reverse infertility according to those four choices?
I think it was the first one, fervent prayer and divine intercession.
Wow. Let's see if you're right. You're absolutely correct. Generous offering and sacrifice to Jehovah. We don't have any documentation about that. A special covenant and promises made to God. We don't have any uh, evidence of that. What we do have is fervent prayer and divine intercession. We have plenty of evidence. So what's that? Well, every year, you probably heard, the family will go to the tabernacle. It was part of their routine. It was part of their custom. Just as we go to our circuit convention, regional convention, back then, it was the same thing. People prepare 3 times a year. Every faithful Israelite family will undertake the sacred journey to Shiloh, where the earth will actually meet the heaven. Using donkeys and all different animals, there is this pilgrim towards the encounter with the divine. Shiloh appear on the horizon like a beacon of hope, the place where heaven touched the earth. And that's what Anna is hoping 3 times a year to have an answer to her miracle. As you can see on the screen, Shiloh wasn't too far from Ramah, where Anna was located, and the journey was very special to her. Why? What did Shiloh represent for ancient Israel? What would you say? What would you say? Let's ask LaRonda Davis, because I think I know her. She's been to many of my tours. If I have frequent miles, LaRonda will have all of them.
Yeah, I've been to many of your tours and you do know me. You sure do.
Yes. I want to remind the group tonight. I think we're over 700. Remind the group. Oh, yeah,
Oh,
we're close to 800.
I'm from Akron, Ohio.
Oh, Akron. All right.
Uh-huh. And so my choice would be the main religious center with the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant.
Oh, that was easy. Let me give you a harder one. You want a harder one?
Sure. Hit
All
me
right.
with your best shot.
Hit me with the best shot. So, as LaRonda already mentioned, it was the religious center of Israel. This is where everybody and their mother will meet 3 times a year. It's like going to Walmart and meeting all of your return visits in one place. But what makes this place special? The Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was resting in the most holy of places. And this is what legitimized the sacrifices to the Most High, according to Jeremiah chapter 7, verse 12. So, for almost 400 years, every family is going to go there. The good thing is that archaeological excavation has confirmed its location, the structure, revealing the silent testimony to Anna's grief and journey. Can anybody help me read? Do you know? This is an interesting fact that I would like you to learn. Let me see who. Oh, Phoebe. I haven't called you in a while. Phoebe Myers.
It says, every year, faithful Israelite families undertook an annual journey to Shiloh. Depending on their place of origin, this journey could involve traveling between 30 and 50 kilometers on foot or by donkey through mountainous terrain and dusty roads. This distance, while not monumental by modern standards, represented several days of travel with all the challenges that entailed heat, safety, and transporting supplies. For Hannah, this journey was not only physically exhausting, but also an arduous journey of faith and hope.
Indeed. And having read that, let's ask the question. Let's see who was paying attention. What was in the tabernacle at Shiloh? Let's ask Julie.
It was for the a great altar of external sacrifice.
Okay, that is good, but I think there might be a better answer. Let's ask Louis or Ashley from Missouri.
Yes. I think it's the Ten Commandments on scrolls.
All right. Thank you, Ashley.
You're
Let's
welcome.
ask April. And friends, if I continue to call people,
the Ark of the Covenant.
There you go. What was special? The Ark of the Covenant. There are places where you can make external sacrifices. The Ten Commandments on scroll, it was just to fool you. The Ten Commandments were in 2 stone tablets, and that was the content of the Ark of the Covenant. All right? And there it is. Beautiful, unique, special. A visual representation that Jehovah was with them. Let's try another one. What function did the tabernacle at Shiloh serve? Let's ask Christola Peterson. Christola?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even
It's
have my
okay.
hand raised up, but I didn't mean to. But
But it's
okay.
okay.
What function did the disciple have?
What function did the tabernacle serve at Shiloh?
Okay. The first one.
The first one, the main center of worship and sacrifice for the people of Israel. Okay,
Yeah.
that is good. That is good, Christola. Jolanda King, what do you think?
I think it's all of the above.
All of the above. All right, Jolanda. Thank you. I'm gonna call one more person. Uh, uh, Rita James. Oops, I clicked on the wrong person.
Yes, hello, Stalin. Rita James
Yeah,
from Connecticut.
of course.
How are you?
Good, good,
I
good.
wanted to say all of the above, but also the dwelling place of the Ark of the Covenant, symbolizing the presence of God among his people.
There you go. Friends, I created the question from 3 different angles. so that at the end of the day, you walk away from this tour understanding that what made this place special, it was the fact that there was a tangible, visible object that symbolized the presence of God among his people. Yeah, a meeting and unifying point for the 12th tribe of Israel, the main center of worship and sacrifice. Those answers have words that I add them on purpose so that they're not 100% right. I gave an answer that is absolutely the best answer of all four. You can still choose all of the above and you will not be wrong. But now you know that what made this place special, it wasn't the structure. It wasn't what was being done. It wasn't the fact that people travel there 3 times a year, because anybody can do that. Place can do that. What made this place special, it was what was inside. That was special because that represented Jehovah's presence. You probably know, but in case you didn't know, the tabernacle, it was the first representation of what the temple and all the things that we have today. The Ark of the Covenant was in a place where only the high priest will be able to have access to. So Hannah will not be here. Hannah will not be here. Hannah will not be here. Hannah will be on the outside of the tabernacle. And this is the area where 3 times a year she will come with a hope that her life will change. A hope that at points it felt like it was fading away of the constant reminder. But you know spiritual people on the way that they react to pressure. There was an evening, I guess, where the humiliation just got so out of control that Hannah said, you know what? I know what I need to do. I know crying, I know talking about it, but I know who do I need to go to. So after dinner, she went to the tabernacle, and this is where the famous word that we find in the Bible tell us what happened. So in front of the courtyard, Hannah makes a plea. But this no ordinary plea. She's crying, her lips are shivering. She is pouring herself out to Jehovah. To make matters worse, in that moment of despair, she found that she was being misjudged. She didn't have any idols. She ran to Jehovah for her. But the funny thing is that the words that were coming out of her mouth were not really legible or something that you can understand. That's why the priest will come to her and falsely, erroneously accuse her or confuse her with something else. The high priest Eli, who was sitting at the entrance, noticed this irregular behavior, and he was confused with Hannah's spiritual agony. What did he confuse her with? To someone who was drunk. But it was Anna's response that really convinced him that she was telling the truth. It was the respect that she shows him that allow the priest to bless her effort. Anna does not have an answer yet to her prayer, but she returned to her home with a whole different attitude. She got up, she ate, and she wasn't sad anymore because she has thrown her burden in Jehovah. It's time to move on. And boy, did she move on, because after that, she became pregnant. She now has a baby boy. And boy, was she happy. Did you know that Samuel will become the last judge of Israel? Pretty sure you didn't, but it doesn't matter because it was the promise that you made to Jehovah after waiting for that son. It's what truly shows admiration from us in regards to Anna. No wonder Mary, the mother of Jesus, is quoted by showing some of her prayer. She was truly an example to all of us. Friends, we have come to the end of part one. Part two, we'll be talking about dedicating a child. We're going to go now to the process of what Hannah probably went through and what other Bible character may have been serving at the temple at the same time that Samuel was serving as a child at the temple. A really fascinating part two, and I invite you guys to come. But to conclude, I know I have more people now that when I started, I want to show you a preview of what you could expect on the tour on Monday.
That was born to deliver Israel, a man of unbelievable strength, a Nazarite from birth, chosen for a divine mission, from tearing lions apart to toppling enemies. Samson, the judge who changed history.
Then Jehovah's Spirit empowered him, and the ropes on his arms became like linen threads that were scorched with fire, and his fetters melted of his hands.
All right, friends, that is the end of our tour. I hope you truly enjoyed. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, available for free, so that you can watch it later.